Before we get into the video, could everyone please subscribe to my Endless Diary Tales channel? Thank you so much. The CEO lost her mind. She was signing it. A set of divorce papers was disdainfully tossed in front of Grace by her grandmother. Leave with nothing. Leo stays here. The family supported you for 7 years. Don't be ungrateful. Grace looked at the clause voluntarily waiving all property in the agreement and smiled. 7 years. She had transformed from a golden girl into the Taylor family's unpaid nanny. Her husband, Marcus, was cold as ice, and her mother-in-law treated her like dirt. Now, his one who got away had returned with a child, and it was time for her, the legal wife, to get out. Mommy! 5-year-old Leo clutched at the hem of her shirt, his small face pale. Grace knelt down, stroked her son's head, and said in an uncharacteristically gentle voice, "Be good, Leo. Your last name is Taylor." She stood up, picked up the pen, and signed her name under the bewildered gazes of Marcus and his mother. No tears, no drama. She was so calm. It was as if she were signing for an unimportant package delivery. Marcus frowned, a strange tightness in his chest. He sneered, "Grace, you won't last 3 days without me." Grace didn't look at him. She turned and resolutely walked out of the gilded cage that had imprisoned her for 7 years. Wouldn't last 3 days? Marcus, you'll soon find out who truly can't live without whom. The mansion was brightly lit. In the first hour after Grace left, Marcus only felt a sense of peace. Without that woman's cautious footsteps, without her subservient inquiries, the air itself seemed fresher. Marcus, don't be angry. That kind of woman, if she's gone, she's gone. She's not worth it. A delicate female voice spoke up. Sarah walked gracefully towards him, holding a wine glass. She was Marcus's one who got away, his first love, from whom he had been forced to separate years ago. Now she had returned in triumph, bringing a 5-year-old boy who was a spitting image of Marcus. Marcus took the wine glass, took a sip, his gaze shadowed and unreadable. She didn't ask for anything. "That's right, grandmother," Marcus's mother scoffed. "Good thing she has some self-awareness. A useless woman who can't do anything but pop out children, dreaming of getting a share of our Taylor family's assets. Dream on." Sarah leaned gently on Marcus's shoulder. "Marcus, don't blame Miss Grace. She might just be acting out of pique. Once she hits a wall out there, she'll naturally realize how good the Taylor family was." Marcus didn't commit to an answer. He irritably tugged at his tie, his mind involuntarily flashing back to Grace's calm eyes as she signed the agreement. Too calm. So calm. It wasn't like her. "Daddy." A timid voice came from the stairwell. Leo, wearing bare pajamas, rubbed his swollen eyes and whispered, "Mommy, when is she coming back?" A wave of inexplicable irritation washed over Marcus' heart again. "She's not coming back." "Why?" Leo's tears fell like broken pearls. "Is it because Leo wasn't good so Mommy doesn't want me anymore?" "Nonsense." Grandmother snapped. "Your mother is shameless. She found some other man outside. Our family has no room for such a shameless woman." Leo trembled with fright and cried even harder. Marcus's frown deepened. In the past, whenever Leo cried, Grace would always appear immediately, gently hold him and softly comfort him. But now he glanced at his sobbing son, then at Sarah, who stood by helpless. A sudden unprovoked anger surged through him. "Enough! Why are you crying? What kind of way is that for a boy to act?" He yelled at Leo. Leo instantly fell silent, his small body trembling like a leaf in the wind. He looked at Marcus and for the first time fear showed in his eyes. Marcus's heart felt as if it had been pricked by a needle. He wanted to go and hug his son, but Ethan, the boy beside Sarah, suddenly ran over, pointed at Leo and said in a childish voice, "Shame on you, crybaby." Leo's face instantly went white. He turned and stumbled back to his room, slamming the door shut with a bang. The entire living room fell into a dead silence. The next day after Grace left, Marcus woke up and habitually walked into his walk-in closet. In the past, Grace would have already laid out his suit, shirt, tie, and even cufflinks for the day, ironed perfectly without a single wrinkle, hanging neatly. But today the walk-in closet was empty. After searching for a long time, he finally pulled out a wrinkled shirt from the depths of his wardrobe. In the dining room there was no pour-over coffee, perfectly brewed to his preferred temperature, Only a sickly sweet instant coffee. It was Sarah's thoughtful preparation for him. Marcus, try this quickly. I specially made this for you. Marcus looked at the cheap coffee powder floating in the cup, his stomach turning. I don't drink this, he said coldly, putting the cup down. Sarah's face paled slightly. What's wrong? You used to love the coffee I made for you. Marcus didn't reply. He just felt that this morning was dreadful. At the office, his assistant handed him a document. Mr. Marcus, this is the final bidding proposal for the Southside land plot. Please take a look. Marcus opened it. The dense data gave him a headache. In the past, Grace would handle this initial screening and organization work for him at home. That woman, though she might not have been socially polished, possessed an astonishing talent for data analysis. She always presented him with the most crucial information using the simplest charts. But now he irritably closed the document. Take it back. Redo it. The assistant looked bewildered. This was already the most detailed version. Marcus was restless all morning. He kept feeling that something was missing until the afternoon. A phone call came through to his phone. It was from the police department. Are you a family member of David? He's been detained on suspicion of illegal gambling and assault. Please come down to the station. David was Grace's gambling addict father. Marcus's brow furrowed into a knot. This woman was causing trouble for her family right after the divorce. Did she expect him to clean up her mess? Suppressing his anger, he drove to the police station. However, just as he arrived at the entrance, he witnessed quite a spectacle. Grace wore a simple white t-shirt and jeans with a bare face. Yet she shone brighter than ever. Kneeling before her were her mother and younger brother. Grace, you can't be so heartless. He's your biological father. Grace quickly told the police. It's all a misunderstanding. Dad was just playing cards with friends. Grace looked at them, her eyes cold as ice. Playing cards, breaking someone's leg, and you call that playing cards? Are you expecting me to pay off the $3 million he owes in gambling debts? Let me tell you, from today on I, Grace, have no further connection with your Sue family. Your lives, your deaths, they have nothing to do with me. Her words rang out forcefully. Around them, flashbulbs clicked rapidly. The other elites discarded Grace's announcement of severing ties with her family. Marcus sat in his car, watching the woman in the crowd standing tall and fearless. His heart once again involuntarily skipped a beat. He suddenly realized this woman he had thought was too fragile to take care of herself seemed to not need him at all. Grace became the subject of social news. The headline was harsh. The family's discarded daughter puts on a public display of severing ties, awakening, or publicity. Grandmother saw the news and was so furious she smashed the teacup in her hand. This is an outrage. She's gone too far. Is this woman trying to ruin the Taylor family's reputation? Marcus, call her right now. Tell her to retract the news. Tell her to explain herself to the reporters. Marcus looked at Grace's cool, defiant face on his phone. And against his better judgment he said, She's no longer a part of the Taylor family. Her affairs have nothing to do with us, Grandma. She was momentarily speechless, choked by his words. Sarah walked over at the opportune moment, gently advising, Grandmother, please don't be angry. Miss Grace just got confused for a moment. I heard her birth family is a bottomless pit. She must have been forced into this. The more understanding Sarah appeared, the more repulsive the grandmother found Grace being forced into it. My foot. I think she's doing this on purpose for us to see. Does she think this will make us soft, make us beg her to come back? Dream on. Marcus didn't participate in their discussion. For the first time, he clicked open the comment section beneath the news article. Holy cow, Grace is so fierce. Finally free from her parasitic family. She should have done this ages ago. Support. Stay away from trash or you'll be unhappy. Am I the only one who thinks she looks more beautiful after the divorce? Marcus looked at the more beautiful comment, and his finger paused. Seemed it was true. Without the tedious housework, without the cautious attempts to please, her entire being radiated a glow, a confident and powerful glow he had never seen before. Ding dong. His phone chimed with a message from his assistant. Mr. Marcus, I found out Ms. Grace's whereabouts as you requested. She seems to have joined a talent agency, and will be doing her first live stream tonight at 8. Live stream? Marcus' frown deepened. What was she planning to do? Making a spectacle of herself, becoming an influencer seeking cheap popularity. Did she have any idea how much this would embarrass the Taylor family? 8 p.m.? Against his better judgment, Marcus downloaded the streaming app he had never used before. He didn't even use his own account, instead entering a live stream room named Grace anonymously. The live stream room was quiet. Grace, wearing a simple white shirt, sat in front of the camera. There were no exaggerated beauty filters, no noisy music. She simply sat there quietly, radiating a calming presence. Wow, the streamer has such great presence. Her looks totally blow all other influencers out of the water. Grace looked at the bullet comments on the screen and smiled faintly. Hello everyone, my name is Grace. Starting today, I'll be here to share some stories about beauty with you all. Her voice was gentle and clear like a mountain spring. It instantly smoothed away the irritation in Marcus' heart. He watched the woman on the screen a little lost in thought. He had been married for 7 years and never knew her voice was so beautiful. Today, let's start with the lipstick, Grace said, picking up a designer lipstick. She didn't excitedly apply it to her lips like other streamers. Instead, she began to tell a story. The shade of this lipstick is called the Scepter. Its perfumer is my friend, an elderly French gentleman with color blindness. He told me that even though he can't see colors, he can smell them. He said, red is the scent of roses sun-drenched on a summer afternoon. Passionate, confident, and fearless, just like each of us striving in life. Her story was moving. The number of viewers in the live stream room began to rise rapidly. Oh my God, this story is so touching. It makes me want to cry. I suddenly feel like I'm not buying lipstick but an attitude. Streamer, link it. I want to buy. Grace smiled. I'm not selling anything today. I just want to tell everyone that luxury goods are never about pleasing others. Instead, they're about giving ourselves a reason to keep our heads held high when life makes us feel suffocated. What we buy isn't just a product, it's armor. These words resonated deeply with everyone. The bullet comments in the live stream room exploded. Grace, you said that so well. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. This is what it means to be clear-headed and strong. All those streamers who just shout buy it should take notes. Grace, will you be streaming tomorrow? I'll defend it all. Why be there? Marcus watched the woman on the screen speaking eloquently, confident and composed. His heart felt like a 5-spice jar had been overturned. Sour, bitter, painful, hot. For the first time he realized he had never truly known his wife. Just then, a golden ID suddenly appeared on the public screen. Mysterious K sends a significant digital gift X100 to the streamer. The entire live stream room was covered in dazzling special effects. One significant digital gift cost $3,000. 100 of them meant $300,000. Holy cow, the big shot is here. K. God, it's K. God, the legendary mysterious investor who never shows his face. Oh my God, K. God is watching the live stream and sent the streamer so many gifts. Marcus stared at the audacious ID, his pupils suddenly constricting. K. The mysterious tycoon on Wall Street, a formidable power player. How could he be here? What was his relationship with Grace? A sense of crisis he had never felt before instantly swept over Marcus. Hello? It was Grace's cool, clear voice. Grace, Marcus said through gritted teeth, suppressing his anger. Do you even remember you have a son? There was a moment of silence on the other end. Mr. Marcus, is there something you need? Her voice was polite, distant, as if speaking to a stranger. Is there something I need? Marcus chuckled in anger. Your son is beside himself over you. You think I have nothing to need? Get back here right now. Come back and comfort Leo. Otherwise, I'll make sure your live stream is shut down for good. He thought such a threat would at least make Grace back down. To his surprise, the woman on the other end merely chuckled lightly. Mr. Marcus, it seems you've misunderstood something. Leo's custody is with you. Educating him and comforting him is your responsibility, not mine. As for my live stream, she paused, a hint of lazy mockery in her voice. Don't trouble yourself. My live stream room has plenty of people to have my back. With that, she hung up the phone. Beep beep beep. Listening to the dial tone, Marcus was utterly stunned. She actually hung up on him and said someone had her back. Was it that K? Was she really so eager to find a new partner? Marcus trembled with rage. He slammed his fist against the wall, and the back of his hand instantly bled profusely. Meanwhile, in Grace's live stream room, she had just hung up the phone when she saw Kay's ID light up on the public screen again. Kay trouble. Grace felt a warmth spread through her heart as she looked at those two words. She smiled helplessly at the camera. It's nothing, just a stray mad dog. This comparison instantly sent the live stream's fans into an uproar. Holy cow, Grace is so bold. Is that her ex-husband? From that tone, it must be that scumbag CEO, right? Grace, you cursed him perfectly. You can't be nice to a mad dog. And in front of his computer, he saw that bullet comment and almost spat out a mouthful of blood and anger. Mad dog. She actually called him a mad dog. Just as he was about to erupt, he saw that golden ID once again dominate the entire screen in the most arrogant way. Kay. A mad dog. I'll take care of it for you. Kay at everyone. From today on, Grace's live stream room is under my protection. Anyone who dares to touch a single hair on her head is going against me. Kay. Also, regarding Taylor stock, I personally suggest everyone sell them off. Kay. No reason, just pure dislike for their boss. These few sentences were like a deep-sea bomb. The entire financial world was rocked by Kay's words. Taylor's stocks began to plummet in a cliff-like freefall within minutes. Marcus' phone instantly exploded with calls. He looked at the woman on the screen, still nonchalantly introducing a perfume. For the first time he felt fear. This Kay for her was willing to make an enemy of the entire Taylor family, and it seemed he was truly about to lose her. Taylor was in chaos. Mr. Marcus, bad news. Our stock price is still falling. Mr. Marcus, several major shareholders are calling, asking if we've offended Mr. K. Mr. Marcus, word from Wall Street is, Mr. K is mobilizing all capital to short sell us. Marcus sat in the CEO's office, his face so grim it looked like it could drip water. He had underestimated Kay's influence, and he had underestimated Grace's importance in that man's heart. For one woman, Kay actually dared to shake the foundations of the Taylor family. Marcus, what should we do? Sarah was on the verge of tears. Maybe you should apologize to Miss Grace. Ask her to plead with Mr. K. Shut up. Marcus roared at him. Beg that woman? Why should he? When had he, Marcus, ever put up with such humiliation? Go get the car ready, he commanded coldly. I'm going to meet this K. He refused to believe the secretive fellow possessed any extraordinary power. Half an hour later at Evergreen City's most exclusive private club, Marcus met Kay. When he clearly saw the other man's face, he froze. It's you. The man before him exuded nobility and an outstanding demeanor. He was precisely the mysterious investor Marcus had been unable to secure for the Southside land plot. Daniel, heir to the Liu family in the capital city, a truly elite family. His family's power was simply incomparable to the Taylors. Mr. Marcus, it's a pleasure to finally meet you. Daniel elegantly swirled the wine glass in his hand, a faint enigmatic smile playing on his lips. I hear you wanted to see me. Cold sweat instantly broke out on Marcus. He never would have imagined that Kay would turn out to be Daniel. Mr. Daniel, he stammered. Is there some misunderstanding here? Misunderstanding? Daniel raised an eyebrow. I don't think there's any misunderstanding. He tossed a document in front of Marcus. This is Taylor's acquisition proposal. I'm giving you two choices. First, take your family and get out of Evergreen City. Second, I'll make sure your Taylor family disappears completely. His voice was calm, but beneath that calm lay world-destroying power. Marcus' face was ashen. Why? He asked unwillingly. Just because of a woman? A woman? Daniel smiled. He slowly stood up, walked over to Marcus and looked down at him. Marcus, do you even know who that woman you speak of is? 7 years ago, with despicable methods, you forced her to give up her Stanford University offer, disbanded her startup team, cut off all her escape routes, and turned her into a kept woman who could only depend on you. What you destroyed was a genius who should have been at the pinnacle of the world. Daniel paused, his eyes filled with an unyielding depth of affection and regret. I searched for her for 7 years, longed for her for 7 years. She is my fiancée whom I was destined to marry since childhood. Boom. Marcus' mind completely exploded. Fiancée? Grace was actually Daniel's fiancée. How was that possible? She was just an ordinary girl from a small third-tier city with an average family background. Impossible, he roared. Believe it or not, it's up to you. Daniel brushed off imaginary dust from his sleeve. I'll give you 3 days to consider. After 3 days, I don't want to see anyone named Taylor in Evergreen City again. With that, he turned and left without a backward glance, leaving Marcus alone. He collapsed on the sofa, feeling utterly cold. He finally understood why his data analysis skills were so strong, why her knowledge of luxury goods was more thorough than any expert's, and why she always possessed a certain noble air that didn't match her background. It turned out she wasn't a sparrow at all, she was a phoenix. He was the one who had personally broken her wings, yet he thought he had given her the sky. How utterly ridiculous. Marcus returned home utterly distraught. What greeted him was Leo's heart-wrenching cries. I want mommy. I don't want this bad auntie. Make her leave. In the living room, Leo was frantically throwing all the toys Sarah had bought for him onto the floor. Sarah stood by, crying heartbreakingly. Marcus, look at him. I just wanted to play with him for a bit. Marcus looked at the mess before him, listening to his son's repeated cries of, I want mommy. His heart felt as if it were being sawed back and forth by a dull knife. He suddenly rushed upstairs and scooped up Leo. Come on, Daddy's taking you to find mommy. He didn't care about anything else now, his company, his stocks, his family. Nothing was more important than his wife and son. He had to find her. He had to tell her he was wrong. He would kneel down and beg her to come back. However, when he drove frantically with Leo to Grace's residence, he was met by a tightly closed door. And on the door a cold note. House sold, gone traveling. Do not disturb. She was gone. Just when it dawned on him, she had left with that man. Gone completely, thoroughly. Wah! Leo's cries echoed throughout the empty hallway. Marcus held his son and slowly knelt down. This arrogant man for the first time shed tears of regret. Grace had indeed left, but not with Daniel. She simply wanted a change of scenery. She went to Asheville, North Carolina, a place she had always wanted to visit but never had the chance. She turned off her phone, cutting off all contact with the outside world. During the day, she strolled through the old town, watching the blue sky and white clouds, listening to the murmuring streams. In the evenings, she would start a live stream, chatting with her fans and sharing her experiences. Her live stream room grew increasingly popular. Fans loved this laid-back streamer who didn't sell products, but only stories and scenery. They called her the healing goddess. Grace felt that this life was good, peaceful, free, and full of hope. She thought she could finally leave the past behind completely. Until that day during her live stream, she saw a unique bullet comment. It was from a newly registered account with no level. The ID was Leo Mommy. It said, Mommy, don't you love me anymore? Just one sentence, and Grace's heart instantly shattered. She suppressed her tears and smiled gently at the camera. Little one, did you enter the wrong live stream? However, that ID stubbornly sent another message. Leo Mommy, I didn't make a mistake. Mommy, please don't abandon me. Leo will be very good. Leo Mommy, Daddy said he was wrong. He won't bully you anymore. Leo Mommy, can we go home? Mommy, the live stream fans all noticed something was off. Is this Grace's son? Oh my God, so pitiful. My heart is breaking hearing this. What kind of move is this from the scumbag using a child to play the emotional card? That's disgusting. Grace could no longer hold back her tears. She hastily apologized to her fans and ended the live stream. She sat on the floor hugging her knees, sobbing uncontrollably. How could she not love Leo? Leo was her life. The reason she left so resolutely was precisely because she didn't want Leo to live in a loveless family. She had thought Marcus would at least be a competent father. But now it seemed she was wrong. She couldn't keep running away like this. She had to go back and reclaim everything that rightfully belonged to her, including her son's custody. The next day, Grace booked a plane ticket back to Evergreen City. She didn't tell anyone, including those who appeared in her live stream every day. When she appeared downstairs at Taylor, pulling her suitcase, everyone was stunned. The receptionist didn't even dare to recognize her. The woman before them wore a simple black trench coat, her long hair subtly curled, her red lips like fire. Her gaze was confident and resolute, carrying an unapproachable and powerful aura. Was this still Mrs. Taylor, who always kept her head down and was timid and submissive whenever she came to the company? "I'm here to see Marcus," Grace said flatly. Miss Grace," the receptionist stammered. Do you have an appointment?" "No." Then I'm afraid that won't be possible, Mr. Marcus." Before she could finish, the door to the CEO's private elevator opened. Marcus walked out. The moment he saw Grace, he froze. He had lost weight and he looked haggard. The dark circles under his eyes made him appear 10 years older. He looked at her, his eyes filled with the ecstasy of having found what he lost and a bone-chilling fear. He was afraid she had come to say goodbye again. "You," he began with difficulty, his voice trembling. "You're back." Grace didn't answer his question. She just looked at him and said clearly, word by word, "Marcus, I want Leo. We'll see each other in court." The courtroom. This was a place Marcus never imagined he'd be with Grace in his lifetime. He sat in the defendant's seat, looking across at the terrifyingly calm woman opposite him. His heart was utterly cold. "Defendant, do you agree to transfer custody of the child to the plaintiff?" The judge's voice was solemn and grave. Marcus' lawyer immediately stood up. "We do not agree. As the CEO of Taylor, the defendant's financial strength and social status far exceed the plaintiff's. We are capable of providing the child with the best living and educational environment. The plaintiff, on the other hand, currently has no legitimate occupation, no fixed income, and no fixed residence. Entrusting the child to her would not be beneficial for the child's healthy growth." The lawyer's words were logical. Everyone thought Grace was sure to lose the case. Grace, however, smiled. She slowly stood up, her gaze sweeping across the room. Finally, it settled on Marcus's ashen face. "Who said I have no legitimate occupation, no fixed income, and no fixed residence?" Her voice wasn't loud, but it clearly reached everyone's ears. "My name is Grace, and my English name is Vivian. I am the founder and CEO of Starlight, a talent agency. My personal assets are currently estimated to be around $3 billion. As for residences," she paused, then pulled a set of keys from her bag. "The penthouse in Building 1 of Skyview, the most expensive property in Evergreen City. I wonder if that counts as a fixed residence." Boom! The entire courtroom erupted in an uproar. Marcus suddenly looked up, staring at her in disbelief. Starlight, that mysterious agency that had recently caused a stir in the live streaming world, signing countless top streamers. The founder was actually her. And the penthouse in Skyview, that luxury estate valued at $500 million. Wasn't it bought by a mysterious billionaire? How could this be? Impossible. Marcus's family lawyer shouted, losing his voice. "You're lying. We checked your records. You have no assets under your name." "Oh, is that so?" Grace let out a small laugh. "That only proves your investigative skills are severely lacking." She handed a stack of documents to the judge. "These are my asset proofs and company equity certificates. All assets are held in an overseas trust fund my mother left me 7 years ago. For the sake of marriage, I voluntarily relinquished my inheritance rights to the fund, but now I want it back." Marcus's body trembled violently. He remembered 7 years ago, before their marriage, Grace had indeed asked him to sign a document, and at the time he thought it was just a standard prenuptial agreement. He signed it without even looking. So that's what it was. That document was a declaration of relinquishing inheritance rights, and he, with his own hands, had signed his name. It was he who made her give up a fortune worth hundreds of millions. Furthermore, Grace looked at Marcus's family lawyer, her gaze sharpening instantly. "You claim my husband can provide the best living environment for our child. May I ask, is a father who was gallivanting abroad with another woman while his child suffered from a persistent high fever truly qualified to speak of the best? Can a family that pushed its son into autism through emotional neglect genuinely speak of healthy growth?" She produced Leo's psychological evaluation report. The words "severe depressive tendencies" on it seared Marcus's heart like a red-hot iron. His breathing hitched. Leo was actually so gravely ill, and he, as his father, had been completely oblivious. He truly was a jerk. Order in the court. The judge rapped his gavel. He looked at the evidence in his hand, then at Marcus, whose face was ashen. Finally he spoke slowly. This court now announces custody of the child is awarded to the plaintiff, Grace. The defendant, Marcus, is required to pay monthly child support of 500,000 yuan until the child reaches adulthood. Judgment rendered. Court dismissed. As the gavel fell, Marcus felt his entire world collapse. He had lost. He had lost everything. Completely defeated. He had not only lost his wife, but now his son was leaving him too. He watched Grace walk away, escorted by her bodyguards without a backward glance. He wanted to go after her, but his legs felt like lead, unable to move. A gush of blood spilled from his lips. His vision went black and he collapsed, falling straight down. Marcus was ill, collapsing from overwhelming stress, compounded by prolonged mental strain. He had fallen critically ill. Lying in the hospital, he was emaciated and barely recognizable. The group, too, plunged into an unprecedented crisis due to his collapse. Grandmother's hair turned white overnight. She swallowed all her pride and went to plead with Grace. Grace, I beg you, please go see Marcus. He's barely hanging on. He keeps calling your name. Grace was playing a sand-tray game with Leo. Hearing this, she simply said, her voice devoid of emotion, he won't die. As for the tailor's crisis, that's the price he has to pay. It has nothing to do with me. Grandmother looked at her cold, impassive profile, finally realizing just how wrong she had been back then. Their family, with their own hands, had driven a devoted wife and loving mother to become a queen of revenge devoid of emotion. A month later, Grace, with Leo, prepared to leave Evergreen City to settle abroad. At the airport, Daniel came in person to see them off. Are you really not going to consider me? He asked, looking at her, his eyes full of unconcealed affection. There are plenty of good men in this world. Why get hung up on one person like me? Grace said with a smile. Can't help it. I just like crooked trees, Daniel said with a helpless shrug. I'll wait for you for as long as it takes. Grace smiled but said nothing. She was holding Leo's hand and about to go through security. A stumbling figure suddenly rushed over. It was Marcus. He was wearing a wrinkled hospital gown, his face sickly pale. Disregarding everything, he broke through the security's attempts to stop him and rushed to Grace's side. With a thud, he fell to his knees. In the bustling airport terminal, this once arrogant man knelt before his ex-wife, Grace. He looked up, tears streaming uncontrollably down his face. Don't go. Please don't go. I know I was wrong. I truly know I was wrong. I'll do anything you ask. Even if you tell me to die, I'll do it. Just if only you'll stay. His voice was hoarse, bleary, and submissive, filled with despair. People around them stopped, pointing and whispering. Grace looked at him, her gaze utterly calm. She knelt down, meeting his eyes. Then slowly and clearly she spoke each word. Marcus, listen to me. I will never love you again. Never. However, she paused, then reached out and gently wiped the tears from his face. I don't hate you anymore either because it's not worth it. After saying this, she stood up, took Leo's hand, and walked through the security gate without a backward glance. Marcus remained kneeling, watching her resolute back, and finally broke down. He let out a wail, raw and beast-like, like a child abandoned by the world. 5 years later, Paris, a top-tier fashion gala. Grace, as a special guest, stunned the entire hall in a red gown. Beside her stood Leo, who had grown into a dashing young man and who remained constantly by her side. Have you decided how to answer me? Daniel asked with a smile. I'll give you another probationary period, Grace said, winking playfully. Just then, a waiter carrying a tray accidentally bumped into her. Red wine splashed all over her. I'm so sorry. So sorry. The waiter's face turned ashen with fright as he profusely apologized. Grace was about to say it was fine, but she froze when she saw the waiter's face. The face was still handsome. Only the youthful vigor of years past was long gone, replaced instead by a demeanor weathered by life, humble and submissive. It was Marcus. He looked at her, his eyes filled with bone-chilling regret. He said nothing, merely picked up a clean napkin, knelt, and tried to wipe the stain from the hem of her gown. His movements were so reverent, as if he were tending to a priceless treasure. Grace stepped back, avoiding him. She looked at him and said softly, "It's all in the past." Marcus' body trembled violently. He slowly raised his head, looking at her, his lips trembling as if to speak. In the end he just smiled, his eyes red-rimmed. Yes, it's all in the past. Only the rest of his life would be spent living in this endless regret, a torment he had forged with his own hands.